A lot of you are probably asking of what good literature can do to your life. What's in it for me? Why should I study it? Does it have any actual relevance in my life? Will I use that in my daily life? Or will that make me land a job in the future? Most of the subjects in senior high school are very practical subjects, especially those that are under specialized and the applied subjects, because that's basically the purpose of it, to make you have a survey of the things you'll be specializing in college. But a core subject just like literature, why does it still have to be there when you've had plenty of English and literature subjects way back in junior high school? You think, literature is so boring. You just have to read stuff and then that's it. If that's the case, then I think you got it all wrong. Well, the thing about literature is that it is universal and timeless. You may not know it, but it's everywhere. When you try to look at Twitter or Facebook or even Instagram, you see a post with a picture and a caption written beautifully, sometimes enhanced with rhyme and rhythm. That is actually an example of literature. Have you ever seen Twitter threads telling stories? The popular Twitter series or social series? That's a modern uptake of literature. Or have you ever read Wattpad or Dream or Inkit or No Ink? Those sites contain serialized stories that readers enjoy. And I know you've been to YouTube, right? And you've watched music videos. Have you ever analyzed why things are placed like that in the MV? Have you ever thought and realized that there are items in the aesthetic music video that hold a special meaning or symbolism that is applicable in real life? Have you ever had those realizations? And I know fans even sometimes make some sort of conspiracy theories about what the music video means. Congratulations, your literature classes probably have helped you harness those thoughts. You see, every day we encounter literature. Every day you're using your reading skills paired with critical thinking skills to understand what life is. Even when you're chilling late at night and watching your favorite teleserie or K-drama, tuning into Netflix or watching your favorite series, you're in for another treat from literature. It's a diary you used to write when you were a kid, or the poem that you composed when you were feeling sad or in love. So whoever said that literature is worthless when it's where you run to when you're stressed in the real world? Now, I have mentioned some of the examples of literature. But what is it really? It's broad and it encompasses a lot of things under it, especially because the world is revolving and so are the types and genres under literature. Even its own meaning changes. The ones that I've mentioned a while ago are mostly the newer trends in literature. Some of it are even under scrutiny of other literary scholars or experts, meaning it's still a debate whether to classify this as literature or not. Literature, etymologically speaking, came from the Latin word literatura, which means writing with the use of letters. If that's the case, does that mean anything we write using letters are now samples of literature? Now that's the tricky part. There is a thin line between how we distinguish and differentiate literature. Mostly we call it literature when the writing is more inclined to creativity and expressing oneself in the written word. Sometimes categorizing specific writing, whether it's literature or not, depends on the people's construct or their set of beliefs and perspective in a particular time. But to define literature in a sense that we'll all probably agree with, literature is any writing that's meant to produce beauty and meaning. It is said to be a writing that employs refined words to make the content appealing. These refined words encapsulate the pressing concern of the humanity into writing, be that poetry or fiction or drama or any other emergent categories that we have today. Who knows, right? Maybe you can invent your own kind of literature someday. Take note of how I try to define literature. I mentioned that it talks about the pressing concern of humanity. I think that's something that makes literature universal. It's relatable in all levels because it talks about the humanity itself. What we feel, what we see, hear, touch, think. It explores the what ifs of the mind and mirrors reality by bringing us into something in somewhere fictional. Meaning, literature is you and me and our stories. So if you're wondering why it is important, I guess I just answered your question.